This is the Hyundai Staria, a futuristic spaceship of a van that Australia, Europe, and half the world can buy. But in America, you can't walk into a showroom and buy one. And that's where the story starts getting interesting. Why would Hyundai block one of its coolest vehicles from the world's biggest car market? And here's the twist. There is a way the Staria could come to the US without ever being called a Hyundai. Before we talk about why you can't buy it, you need to understand what the Staria actually is. This isn't your typical boring minivan. The Staria looks like it rolled straight out of a sci-fi movie. A full-width light bar, massive glass area, and a silhouette that makes most vans look a decade old. Step inside, and it gets even more surprising. You can have lounge-style seating, reclining captain's chairs that feel like business class, panoramic windows, and tech that many US vans still don't offer. It can be a family hauler, an airport shuttle, a VIP transport, or even a camper conversion. So, naturally, you start thinking, why wouldn't this work in America? And that's where the story gets weird. If the Staria is already designed, already built, and already selling overseas, why would Hyundai not bring it to the US? This isn't about one simple reason. It's a mix of market behavior, internal competition, and cold financial logic. Let's start with the reason that sounds boring, but actually explains almost everything. In the US, the family car used to be wagons and minivans. Today, it's SUVs and crossovers. Look at what's selling: huge numbers of RAV4s, Highlanders, Tellurides, Palisades, Tahoes. Minivans are still around, but most families now choose an SUV instead. Toyota Sienna, Chrysler Pacifica, and Kia Carnival are already fighting over a shrinking slice of that pie. So if you're Hyundai, and you already sell SUVs like Tucson, Santa Fe, and Palisade that are printing money, do you really want to spend millions to launch a slow-selling van that might get lost in the noise? On a spreadsheet, the Staria looks like a niche product for the US, and niche products are the first things to be cut when a company is being careful. Now that explains part of it, but it still doesn't answer a bigger question. If demand is the problem, why does Kia still bother selling the Carnival in the US? Well, that brings us to a slightly awkward detail inside the Hyundai Kia family. And this is where things get interesting. Hyundai and Kia are part of the same group. Think of them as siblings that sometimes share homework. In the US, Kia already sells the Carnival, which is basically the cool minivan in the market right now. It's stylish, practical, and it fills the role of a family people mover for the group. Now imagine Hyundai drops the Staria into the same showrooms at a similar price. Who does it steal customers from? Not Toyota, not Chrysler. Mostly, the Kia Carnival. That's called internal cannibalization. You spend a ton of money certifying and marketing a new model, only to watch it steal sales from your own sister brand. From Hyundai's point of view, the question isn't, could we sell some Starias in the US? It's, would it sell enough extra to justify the costs without just eating Carnival sales? And right now, that answer looks like probably not. Speaking of costs, here's where most people outside the industry underestimate the problem. You might think, just ship them over from Korea. How hard can it be? Yeah, it's not that simple. And this is where government rules, crash tests, and cold hard maths come in. To sell the Staria in the US, Hyundai can't just drop it off a boat and throw it on a lot. They need to engineer it to meet US crash standards and safety regulations, pass emissions and efficiency rules, tune things like lights, airbags, and software specifically for US requirements, crash test it, certify it, and then carry parts, service training, and support for years. All of that costs serious money. On top of that, the Staria is currently built overseas. If you import it into the US, you're dealing with shipping, tariffs, and currency swings. So at this point, it sounds like the Staria coming to the US is basically impossible. But remember that twist from the beginning? This is where the story takes a different turn. Car companies love partnerships. They share platforms, factories, and technology, especially now with EV and commercial vehicles. The next big battleground isn't family minivans, it's electric vans, delivery fleets, and people movers. Now imagine this. Instead of Hyundai selling a Staria in US showrooms, another brand sells an electric or commercial van that just happens to use Staria DNA underneath. To most buyers, it's a Chevy, or a Ford, or a Ram. But to car enthusiasts, it feels suspiciously familiar. That's the backdoor. Once production certification and infrastructure exist, bringing a passenger version later becomes much easier. So, here's the real truth. The Staria isn't blocked because it's bad. If anything, it's too good for a market that mostly abandoned vans. It comes down to America's love affair with SUVs. Kia already handling the minivan role, massive certification and import costs, and a strategy focused on SUVs and future EVs. But with changing tastes, electric vans, and partnerships, Americans may still end up driving something very Staria-like. It just might not say Hyundai on the badge. So now you know why this spaceship-looking van is missing from US roads, and how it could quietly sneak in someday. What do you think? Should Hyundai take the risk and bring the Staria to America anyway? Comment Team Staria if you'd buy one tomorrow, or Team SUV if you'd still choose a 3-row SUV. If you enjoyed this kind of behind-the-scenes car storytelling, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who always asks, why don't we get the cool cars? Because this Staria story is probably just the beginning.